Why? There are two aspects which are incredibly important, and I would like them verbalized, even if they may seem very self-evident to you, okay? Number one, how we feel about ourselves directly affects how we live. It affects our ability to handle highs and lows, i.e., to handle life. It affects our ability to progress. And ultimately, it also affects our ability to state boundaries, to protect ourselves. At the same time, how they feel, the world out there, how others feel about us also affects our life. It directly affects us. Are they taking us seriously? Is our voice heard? When we speak up, when we contribute, when we offer suggestions, solutions, and so on, or complaints for that matter, when we are crying for help, are we taking seriously? Are our notes, our ideas, taken note of, or are we being ignored, bypassed, and so on? So we need confidence for ourselves, ultimately, but we need confidence in order to be able to live our life so that the world can appreciate that we are here and we have something to say and we have something to contribute. So let's dive into it. How do we do this? I once again invite you to consider everything I'm saying as a personal experience, and you're welcome to question all of it. I would like to start with, what is confidence? The way I say it, confidence is actually a triad. There are three different elements to it. We often talk about, oh, he is confident, she is confident, they are confident. And that is usually just basic confidence. It's about experience. I've done this before, I can do it again. I have had a Zoom call before, I can do it. I know where the buttons are, I know what to say, I know how to behave, I know what not to do, da, 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 da. The more I do it, the better I get. Fine. The key here is, though, how often have you started something, or even before starting something, have you said loud or thought, I can't do this, I'm rubbish at this, oh, this is just not me, and so on. So what I'm inviting you to consider is, it isn't a question of, am I rubbish, I'm bad at this. It's a question of, how do I get good at this? In other words, I don't know how to do this today. I have no idea how to surf. That doesn't mean that I'm bad at surfing. It simply means that I don't know how to surf. So the question is, how do I learn? Where do I learn? Who do I ask? Not automatic disclaimer, oh, I can't do this, I'm rubbish at. We don't know that yet. We absolutely do not know that yet. This, once again, may sound self-evident, but the number of times I have had to remind clients, for example, or friends or loved ones of this, is staggering to me. So ultimately, anything can be learned. How good we get at it, we are going to find out. Usually, we are going to get as good as we care to, but that's another story. Confidence, experience. I've done it before, I will do it again. Then there is self-confidence. Self-confidence is more trust in self. I have worked before, I will work again. I have loved before. Yes, my heart is broken, but I will love again. I just know that it's possible. I know that I'm capable of it. I have the trust in myself, my ability to engage, my ability to try and learn. Some things are easier than others, but I do have the ability. So I have a lived experience of having conquered. I have lived experience of having overcome. Therefore, I'm learning to trust myself, or I have the trust in self. There's a beautiful meme I recently saw, anonymous, one of those clever bits of wit, but I think it's priceless. A bird sitting on a branch does not trust the branch not to break. It trusts its wings. It will fly off. And I love that. What a beautiful, beautiful illustration of life. So ultimately, it is, I can have faith in me. This is not as easier said than done. It's not as easy. I totally appreciate that. But for now, we are just establishing the foundations, if you like. And we will, throughout our time together today, we will look into the detail of it. And okay, so yes, but how? And so on. But for now, I want to offer you, we don't have the time to do it as an exercise right now because of our limited time together, but I would like to invite you to do a little bit of homework after this session. I invite you to take a notebook. And on the first page, just a blank notebook dedicated to this task. And on the first page, write, I rock. I am not kidding. I rock. And then start listing all the things that you're good at, all the things that you know how to do. Careful, not are you the best of. If you can make a mean cheese on toast, there is no international standard of what is the best cheese and toast. We don't care about that. The fact is that you know how to make a mean cheese and toast. And that counts. That rocks. Okay? Maybe you speak more than one language. Awesome. There are people who don't. Maybe you know how to cycle. Great. Not everybody does, believe it or not. Not even in China, known as a country of cyclists. The point is, everything counts, okay? I don't care that you haven't invented cure for cancer. Most people, out of 8 billion people on this planet, most people have not invented the cure for cancer. So start listing things and keep going. Now, this is the key. If you do it, and I do genuinely encourage you, I know that it works not only because I've done it, but also because I have offered it to clients and they have come back with great feedback. Once you start, what is likely to happen? You will write 2 or 3 things and you will go, well, that's it. I don't know. I can't think of anything else. No, keep it up. Tomorrow, it will be, I rock. I did not slap, I don't know, Jennifer across the face, even though she was asking for it. I did not, whatever it might be. I kept my calm. I was a good human today, or whatever. Or I helped so-and-so, a complete stranger on the street. Doesn't matter. I rock. I was helpful today. I was good. Today, I listened to so-and-so cry on my shoulder for 3 hours. It was uncomfortable, but that is what they needed, etc., etc. Over time, what will happen is you will have the emotional equivalent of a photo album. You will have reminders of all the stuff you're capable of, all the good stuff you're capable of. And this exercise does 2 things, okay? Number 1, it forces you, depending on who you are and where you're at, a lot of us have at least moments of, sometimes too much of, negative talk, negative self-talk. I'm rubbish, I'm good, I'm bad, I will never be good, da, 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 okay? It forces you to step out of that and regain perspective. Yeah, but I also rock. What it also does is, on a low day, on a bad day, you can leaf through that notebook and remind yourself that fundamentally you're a good human trying to get through. You're a good human trying to do good things. And boy, is that enough. Oh boy, is that enough. More of that, please. Okay? So I genuinely encourage you to do this as an exercise. It really is something that, if it resonates with you, you can turn into equivalent of a diary, if you like, but of highlights. I rock. That's it. As simple as that. Okay? Now, let's look at the third element. I said a triad, right? The third element is a love of self. So we have confidence, we have self-confidence, but we have self-esteem. It is the foundation. If we have issues with self-esteem, everything else is much harder. Not insurmountable, but definitely harder. Okay, so what are we trying to do? We are trying to understand that the world is what it is, and I am on a journey. I've been blessed with this moment in time. I'm alive and I'm trying to get through. I'm trying to do my best. So what I'm doing is I'm checking in with myself. Am I honoring myself? Am I really a good human trying to do a good thing? And hey, most days I am. Have I made mistakes? Yes, but never deliberately mean and nasty and whatever, trying to be horrible or whatever. Just, yeah, I have some days when I'm not quite on it and with it, etc., and so on. But the key is, the fundamental is, and we will be coming back to this theme throughout today, throughout this afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are. Fundamentally, I am a human. I am doing my best. And all humans deserve a seat at a table somewhere. I deserve to at least try and contribute to this meeting, to this project, to this world that we call art and entertainment, and so on and so on. I have something to say. I deserve to contribute my bit. Does this make sense? Are you with me so far? Brilliant. Now, let's do a little exercise here, okay? I will give you 1 minute and I will ask you to write down the last 3 or more, but at least 3. Try and write down at least 3, or maybe more. If you have 10, great, go for it. I will give you 1 minute and write down the last 3 or more times you have criticized yourself. You have scolded yourself. Oh, Sasha, you idiot. Wow, no, you did it wrong. Or you did it again. Or when are you going to learn? Or whichever way you talk to yourself when you are being critical, okay? So let me get the timer. Is this clear, by the way? Is everybody clear what we are supposed to do? Awesome. Okay. If you're not, please feel free to say. Okay. So 1 minute. The last 3 or more times you have been critical of yourself, to yourself. Go. Okay. So once again, but this time, please, the last 3 or more times you were congratulating yourself. You were patting yourself on the proverbial shoulder. Oh, well done. Ah, we did that well. Okay, I did it, or whatever it might be. The last 3 times you were kind and congratulatory to yourself. Okay, are we ready? And go. At least 3, of course. It can be more. All right. Now we have 2 lists, A and B. Okay, A is critical of yourself and B is congratulatory. In the chat, please write down just the letter of which list was easier to write. Which of these 2 lists was easier for you to write? Yep. Do you see the results? Vast majority, vast majority. This is very common. This is very common, okay? But just because it's common doesn't mean that it serves us, does it? So let's get into trying to reframe this. How would you say it if it was to a dear friend? How would you say it if it was to 5-year-old you? I'm just going to pick names here. How would Kirsten talk to 5-year-old Kirsten? How would Simon talk to 5-year-old Simon? How would Raj say something to a 5-year-old Raj? Mate, come on, let's not do this again. Or, you idiot, you stupid fool, you blah, 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 whatever it might be, okay? We all deserve the understanding one. We all love our friends for being kind to us when we screw up, right? And you are to them, I'm sure. I have no doubt. But this is possible. It is possible to reframe. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not making light of this. Self-esteem is fundamental. It is also heavily influenced by our life experiences, especially childhood. And not only childhood, our self-esteem can be completely destroyed. Even if we had a perfectly decent, ordinary, lovely childhood, it can be destroyed by bad relationships, by toxic environments at work, and so on and so on. I get it. I absolutely get it. I'm not making light of this. This is a process. It takes time. It takes energy. It takes effort. But it starts with acknowledging that we are doing it and that we don't have to.